Slight transition, but kind of still relates to the climate change and own nothing and you will be happy theme of this episode. And it's this tweet. It says, "The year is 2030. To save the planet, you now only get 1 minute ration of warm water per day. Meat has been replaced by bug burgers and milk has been replaced with soy drinks," which we don't like soy. "You own nothing in the real world, but you do own a house in the digital metaverse." So obviously we all know that as of this week, Facebook just announced that they're rebranding. Facebook as the parent company is rebranding to Meta. And Meta is going to be the name. So I'm sure whatever products they create under that, this Metaverse, Meta VR, Meta video games, Meta servers, whatever it is, it's going to be it's going to be a whole lineup. They are not stopping anytime soon. This seems like a very significant refresh for the entire company. And I mean, I watched that clip of Mark announce it. And he did the whole VR simulation, like it was a whole edit. And not gonna lie, I think the graphics look pretty cool. I think that there will be some good that comes out of it. I think I am a fan of technology. I think that tech can be used in ethical ways, in very, positive lights. But I am very afraid of what propaganda tactics that they're going to succeed at via this new channel. We haven't seen VR propaganda at a mass scale yet. We've seen it through social media. Facebook was like basically the instigator of that. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled and be very, very skeptical when this starts to become a thing, because anyone Gen Z who has obviously had tech in their hands from the times before we were even teenagers, kids now, babies now have it way more than we did. So VR to them is going to be like iPods to us. I feel like I'm afraid of it. Like there's like it's going to get to the point, like people are already advocating that it's a right in society now to have a smartphone. It's going to get to the point where it's a right, like, to have a VR headset.
But they're going to say it's a right, but it's a trick, because I think then if you have a VR set, then you can't complain about living in your pod and eating bugs.
Okay, that's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like they're going to say, oh, it's a right, it's for you. Like this is like something good that we're giving you. But in exchange, we're actually giving up. This is something that's really interesting when people say like, oh, healthcare is a right. And it kind of has been exacerbated with COVID, where we'd rather have like free COVID healthcare and like vaccines and tests versus our actual rights that we were founded on and that we should value more than our right to quote unquote healthcare. Because if you look into healthcare industry, I mean, unless you're born with some sort of a genetic disease or something like that, we shouldn't be on all, like, this industry is a lot bigger than it naturally should be. So the fact that like we're saying we need a right to healthcare is actually kind of messed up, because we don't really need it in the first place.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
yes.
And that's the same thing with VR is like, yeah, it's cool. Yeah, a smartphone is cool. And I don't think that the product shouldn't exist and be there, but you don't need it.
It's not a right.
It's not a right.
No.
And so they're convincing us that these things that actually aren't rights, we should care about more. And as they're doing that, we're giving up our real rights to the point where we might be stuck in a apartment pod bed, and our only beauty into a bigger house or a backyard is through the digital world.